Okay, so when we're testing assumptions, how this works, when we test assumptions uh, for our test that we're talking about, what we're doing is we're saying that we're making these assumptions. The test is based on this, and so for the test to be valid, we need to meet these assumptions. We can't violate them. There are some people, as I've said before, that say the assumptions are the assumptions. You don't need to check them. I'm not one of those people, so I want you to know what the assumptions are. If that is the class that you're in right now, if you're in research methods, you don't have to worry about that as much right now. But this is something that you can test a couple different ways. So first of all, we assume linearity, meaning that we assume um, that the relationship is linear. We're looking for consistent uh, relationship or change relationship between these variables. So covariation between these variables, not change. So one way to do that is you can go to exploration and go to scatter plot. And we can look at these variables. The X and Y axis doesn't really matter. So I'm going to say resources is one, and then our other one is academic self-efficacy. And it's going to make this, ooh, look at that, um, make this bit of a snowball. Now, you can see that there's not a big relationship here, but we're not seeing any strange patterns. Like if it were monotonic, meaning that it changes at a non-consistent rate. So if we see that there's a relationship between variables at a non-consistent rate, like we don't, our age and height don't change together at a consistent rate. Like it changes, you go through growth spurts, and that relationship is going to not look linear. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. So this is not a strong relationship, but nothing really to worry about here. And so this is how we can check that linearity. Now, if I click back over here, you can also check for normality of the variables. So I can go to exploration, I can go to descriptives, and I can move the variables that I'm looking at into the variables box, go to academic self-efficacy, move that over. And under statistics, I can actually calculate the Shapiro-Wilk test for normality. And if the p-value is less than 0.05, that indicates that it might not be normally distributed. So we can see here that the p-value for the resources is quite large, so we don't need to worry about normality for that variable. And then academic self-efficacy, it's just under, it's less than 0.05 here. Um, this tells me that we're probably not going to find a relationship because the scatter plot is so much, there's so much going on here. It's not a very strong relationship that it's probably not worth it to conduct a different test. But because this is violated, we could, instead of doing a Pearson's R, we could use the Spearman rank order. And so that's an option that you can do if you don't meet that assumption. So we can do a non-parametric test here instead. So that's testing for normality and looking at linearity of your Pearson's R. In the next video, I'm going to talk about interpreting the results.